Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 7th of October 2024. So, Friday's news, good news sparks bond bloodbath, dollar and oil soar on the week. You never go full Goldilocks, according to the silver head there. Stocks bid and bonds hit after hot NFP numbers. This is what was driving the market. Blowout payrolls, September 254,000 jobs soar above highest estimate, unemployment rate drops and wages spike. And there you have it, another policy error by the Fed, absolutely. And behind today's stunning jobs report, this is for Friday, a record surge in government workers, that's what it was. Dig deep enough and you will always find the buried bodies. So again, it was the government creating jobs, as seen by the graph there to the left. And that caused the 254,000 on the job numbers there. Not good news for the Fed because it's obviously inflationary, and it means good news for the dollar because there could be a rate increase as a potential. I very much doubt it at the moment because obviously this is more political. We're dropping rates down by 50 basis points than it is economical. So yeah, that was not good news. And this week, just to help matters or make matters worse, we have CPI numbers on Thursday for the US as well. They're forecast at the moment to be lower, which is going to be interesting given the fact that they dropped rates and the NFP numbers are up, along with all the other jobless numbers last week. No economic news for today and tomorrow. The market will make its own direction, so it could be a bit choppy and a bit sideways, so keep that in mind as well. But the big one for the week is definitely the CPI numbers, that's for sure. We do have PPI as well later on in the week. Well, Friday is when that's going to be, and you have consumer sentiment as well. But the big one, like I say, is going to be certainly going to be these CPI numbers on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Right, let's have a look at the market's reaction to these hotter than forecast NFP numbers and kick off with the Dow. So Friday saw the Dow moving sharply to the upside there, and overnight prices have gapped higher, a bit of follow through there, a bit of momentum, but moving down at the moment. An interesting bar. In the old days, before we had the overnight markets, when we used to get these gapped up bars, it was always an indication of weakness coming into the market. Not necessarily so anymore because of the overnight, and also there's much more activity in the futures market than there was years and years ago. When I say years and years ago, I'm talking about when I started back in the 1991 era, when we had pit trading and the markets actually cut off. But that's not the case anymore. It's more or less 24 hours a day from Sunday evening to Friday evening at 9:30 for the Dow. And there you can see the market sort of following through. And if you look at the 30-minute chart, you can see the gap there where the market's bounced up, and we're back below the high of Friday there as well. Market's reaction to the NFP numbers, they moved higher and then they thought, oh blimey, this is not so good. And it gave the opportunity for those who wanted to get out and sell something that situation to do so, but the market then moving back up all the way through the afternoon once we go back above the 200 MA in the 30-minute time frame. Prices, like I say, overnight at the moment, to keep an eye on this one, is showing some sort of weakness, and having no news for today and tomorrow is also going to make it a bit of a challenge as well. In the German DAX, after a few days to the downside, the market bouncing back, also gapping higher, which you can see there. And in the 30-minute charts, again, you've got that gap. The gap's being filled, which means it could actually move back above the high. But Friday for the DAX, market down to the low. Market loves to hit the low. If it hits the low, they'll buy it back. If they can, the market is certainly bought back here. And then we get a bit of a shakeout with the NFP numbers, and then we continue to the upside. At the moment, we're finding support above the 200 MA as well at this time. If we break this, maybe a test of the DP on the downside there. In the S&P 500, the market still has that all-time high, and we just moved that across so it's legible, 5773.3. And there again, you can see the market's gapped up slightly, and there's a bit of buying. There's a cluster of volume appearing in these markets at the moment, again, which is indicative of some sort of distribution phase. 30-minute chart, market up on that NFP number, back down to the DP as well. Certainly, we've got a good 78% retracement there, bang on 78.89. And the market making its way back up there. Also below the high of Friday and below the close as well, and just currently below the 20 MA there as well. So a bit of weakness for the S&P 500 overnight. The FT 100 is still stuck in a sideways range. There's not a lot to say about this market, as you can see there, stuck in the sideways channel there. 30-minute chart, market down to the low of Thursday, and then the market moving back to the upside with the NFP numbers. No gap up overnight, but the market back below the high. So the market's lost its enthusiasm for Friday's NFP numbers at the moment. But given there's no other economic news, we could have a move to the downside and then see prices move back to the upside there. And as I have mentioned before, and we'll continue to do so, at the moment we're holding above 100 and we've moved up quite nicely there. Not a lot happening overnight with regards to the dollar, but what is very interesting is how the metals are actually holding against this, or they certainly were on Friday. So let's have a look at those. And starting off with silver, we actually broke through 32.50 and hit the 32.94 that we've had in the monthly charts. Let me just widen this out a bit and show you what I mean. We actually took out that high of 32.50 that we had back in May, and we also took out the 32.69, and we've got a new one in there for Friday, which comes in at 32.94. I didn't quite get to $33 an ounce, but you can see overnight now that the market is under pressure there, so don't be surprised if we come back down to Friday's low during the next 2 days. You can see how it spiked up on the news, but then the reality is they're going to try and hammer this back down towards the low of Friday, which is 31.50 there. Meanwhile, gold helping things a bit with support as prices remain in a bit of a consolidated sideways phase. The escalation of war is supporting this market at the moment. And 30-minute chart there, you can see it's holding up quite nicely. Let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio for this market. So at the moment, the market's starting to show some green, silver being hammered a bit more than gold, silver being more hammered than. So in the gold-silver ratio, Friday it was moving down nicely, but this soon got changed, didn't it? Silver was sold into, whereas gold was stayed steady. That's the way it is at the moment as well, and you can see we've got green coming back in for a potential move back to the upside there for silver as well. Right, let's have a quick look at Friday's reaction to the NFP numbers in the 2-minute DAX. So on Friday the market was consolidated before the open, and then we see the market spike to the downside down to the low of Thursday, where the market found support. And then prices put in a potential buy signal and started to move to the upside. But prior to that, if I just stop getting ahead of myself, you can see that we also had a potential sell signal, which wasn't filled, and the market stayed on the buy side. So let's just fast forward through this, and then just trailing the stop, you can see that we moved up quite nicely up to the DP, and at that point 35 points, which is a welcome relief. Take the profits at these sort of levels. The market then drifting back down, getting into a sideways move as it waited then for the NFP numbers due out at 1:30 p.m. So let's go to those. You'll see when they appear on the charts. There it is. The market releasing these numbers hotter than forecast, 254,000, and sending the German DAX back to the previous day's high, which was Thursday's. Market consolidating there. And then the market didn't know what to do with these numbers as prices came back, found a bit of support. We had a potential buy signal, which was filled, traded up to the scalp, and this was the same for the remaining 3 trades as well. Another one stuck in a sideways range, another buy just up past the scalp, and then we had a potential sell down to the scalp. And you can see after this news, which is typical, isn't it? The market then, instead of finding one direction to trade in, just trades in a sideways move, and then one more potential buy signal to the upside before we have the cutoff there, which you can see with the dark grey. And then price is just trading in that range, and then eventually breaking out with the evening session of the Dow there back up to Thursday's high. Let's have a look overnight, see where we're at. And speaking of Friday's high, we've got the close and the high there, and the 200 MA, the market stuck in a sideways range. Today we don't have any economic news, neither tomorrow. Market's got to make its own direction, so we'll just have to see what happens. Geopolitics may play a part today, but the market so far very quiet overnight, which could be setting a precedent for, like I say, the next couple of days. Okay, that's it for today. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.